Ma magical magical girl. Oh God, what is this? Chibidoki? Holy shit. Uh, sim... I'm surprised this is not as popular. Is it this? Sailor Venom? Wait, huh? Is this it? I'm scared.
Let's take a look at the magical girl Venom. Ellie Ellison is a 16-year-old girl who lives in Los Angeles and has a crush on one of her classmates, Parker Piper, but is embarrassed about it in your typical anime fashion that her black beau named Venom mocks her about.
We're looking up. It is crazy. We're finding all the Venom, the symbiotes, and Voyage. Oh yeah, that's right. You can't see Voyage's comments because she's on YouTube. She told me there's a magical girl Venom, and we're about to see this. That's Bestie.
The
Say
school is, of
less.
course, attacked by lizard creatures. They leap into action, and together they are the Warrior of Justice and Lethal Protector, Necroco. Transformation sequence and all. They make quick work of the lizards with their pretty whip of justice and even take a bite out of a few of them to the terror of their classmates. The next day, everyone describes them as a monster and a magical girl gone wrong, but Parker knows Necroco meant well, and Ellie just thinks fighting for justice rules. She later appears in the Death of the Venomverse event, where she teams up with the other Venoms
What?
to defeat Carnage, where he gets a good
What?
swing at her, but she's only knocked out with a Venomized Jeff on top
Is that Jeff?
of her. She was even popular enough to win a Puzzle Quest fan poll where she is a costume for Venom. She was designed by Ken
What?
Omura and written by Alyssa Wong. The script even points out some other magical girl.
Wait. Okay, y'all. Cause I'm about to say, yeah, man. What are symbiotes? Midnight. Midnight. Oh, you know what? Hold on. You okay? I guess you don't know. Symbiotes are what Venom is.
Anime that were inspirations for her character. She quickly became one of the more popular Venom alternates with a lot. Let's take a look at the magical
What?
girl Venom.
That stops right there? Jeff has a Venom skin? Bro! Jeff Venom. Oh my god. I should have just done this on my computer. Oh, there it is.
Jeff the Land Shark has been venomized on 3 separate occasions.
Hold
The
on.
first
You know
happening
what?
during
I'll show.
King in Black,
All right, since you actually don't know what symbiotes are, I'll just show you a video of it because I was gonna do that anyway.
when Jeff bites his symbiote dragon, is taken over and then bites Deadpool, causing Wade to remove his arm so he doesn't become infected. Jeff is contained for most of the issue, and they remove the symbiote from him by blasting Tears by Wu-Tang Clan. An extreme
they, they're blasting Tears by Wu-Tang Clan. Oh shit.
Venomverse, an alternate universe Jeff who just happens to have the symbiote, terrorizes Kate Bishop throughout the house.
Oh, he looks so cool. Jeff, sit, stay, heal, or something.
Across the street to the park, to the point where she considers having to put him down, but oh, he just wants to play. But he's doing so much damage to the park that they gotta remove the symbiote by getting on stage with a boy band. This Jeff would also show up at the end.
Bro, why is Jeff like low-key just Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Of the Death of the Venomverse event and will be knocked out by Carnage. Back again to the 616 during the Venom War event, a symbiote finds its way to Jeff and he tries his best to get rid of it before the two come to agreement on going to Coney Island, where the two bond over eating lots of food when zombiotes attack the pier. Jeff grows arms going full on street sharks and he helps his friends take them out, this time by blasting Baby Shark. While Jeff wasn't caught
Okay, you can't be you can't be serious. No.
in the blast, the symbiote has mellowed out enough from the food where Jeff can just roll it up like a yoga mat, and him and his friends enjoy the rest of the day together. Jeff the land shark has been...
That is insane. Where have I been all this time? Okay, all right. I'm gonna show you what. I'm gonna give you a symbiote lore video because I also need a refresher. I mean, I don't really need a refresher, but it's nice to. I always like to hear about symbiotes. Here we go. Sorry, boys.
Today's
and
episode
girls.
of Variant is brought to you by the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Just tell that symbiote is a species venomous. That's what I said, but he was like, that's not a good explanation.
One shot. Before
Oh, I know
get
this guy.
about the symbiotes, I just wanted to remind you guys that the awesome people over at Comic Cave Studios have invited us to the Captain America Civil War red carpet premiere in Los Angeles this coming Tuesday, April 12th. And let me just tell you, I'm extremely excited. I'll be live tweeting, periscoping, Instagramming, and so on from the red carpet and the after party event. So if you want live coverage from the event, be sure to follow me and Variant on all forms of social media. I'll put the links for them in the description below. As for today's episode, let's dive right in and start talking about the origin of the symbiotes. The
Yeah,
symbiotes are called
baby!
The Clintar. They're a peaceful alien collective who seek to join with other races to become the perfect warrior of nobility. Only the perfect blend.
Wait. What? They're peaceful?
After party event. So if you want live coverage from the event, be sure to follow me and Variant on all forms of social media. I'll put the links for them in the description below. As for today's episode, let's dive right in and start talking about the origin of the symbiotes. The symbiotes are called the Clintar. They're a peaceful alien collective who seek to join with other races to become the perfect...
They're peaceful? There's no way. They eat brains. Let's continue.
Warrior of nobility. Only the perfect blend of moral and physical ideal can create such a warrior. Anything less results in bad pairing. And bad pairing will disconnect the symbiote from the being and cause damage and horror. The symbiotes were scattered across the entire galaxy after their home planet was devoured by the World Eater Galactus. Shocking, right? Like Galactus is the one that destroyed their world. That guy just can't leave worlds alone. Anyway, for some reason, Galactus could not siphon the life force from the symbiotes themselves. This event left the symbiotes psychologically traumatized, and they became renegades and disconnected from the group. Some of the race is now nomads and live on various worlds throughout the cosmos, Earth obviously being one of them. The remaining collective formed a world in an uncharted area of space and continued its mission. It would also continue to bring back those who had left the collective to repair them and to remind them of their true purpose. Symbiotes require an intelligent organism for a host. Once bonded, a symbiote can remove all poisons and cancers from its host body. Without the
that thing right there. Yeah. So just to summarize real quick, the symbiote's real race name is the Clintar, and they need hosts. Like anybody's viable to be a host, but they need to be the right host to like actually fuse together and like join symbiosis, which is basically what the origin of the name is. Symbiosis, when like one race or one species, like two species can join together in like harmonies, and like they can benefit from each other. So that's what the symbiotes are. Okay, so Marshy can become a symbiote. That's technically me, yeah. That's actually yeah. True. I have like multiple symbiotes in me. Don't take that out of context. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so cool. I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. No!
Perfect host to become a noble warrior, the symbiote disconnects from the collective and bad things follow.
Hold on.
Kind of like when
there we go.
bonded, a symbiote can remove all poisons and cancers from its host body. Without the perfect host to become a noble warrior, the symbiote disconnects from the collective and bad things follow. Kind of like when Carnage bonded with the psychopath Cletus Cassidy. Symbiotes in these situations have a give-take relationship with their host, but usually take more than they give. For example, when Spider-Man was first bonded with the Venom symbiote during the Secret Wars event, it seemed too good to be true. He no longer needed web shooters or web fluid. He was stronger and he could morph the symbiote at will between street clothes and his costume. However, the negatives became quickly apparent. Spider-Man became more violent and was constantly exhausted. He discovered this was because the alien was taking his body out on patrol in his sleep. Spider-Man eventually rejected the alien and it found its way to Eddie Brock. Since then, there have been numerous other symbiotes, most of which are relatives to the Venom symbiote, who are born on Earth, like Carnage and Toxin. As for symbiote...
Okay. I know he probably won't explain this, right? So, wait, hold on. The explanation reminds me of being in school. It's yeah, to be fair, he's speaking way too fast. We can't really digest any of this. So I'm going to explain it as non-stupid as I can, right? So Venom, I'm not gonna say he's like the original symbiote, but Venom is like the symbiote that we all know, right? So from start, Venom attached itself to Spider-Man, right? Wait, I do need that school lecture experience to understand it. Okay, yeah. So we all know Venom, right? Firstly, Venom attached himself to Spider-Man, and he got the Spider-Man suit. That's why Venom has the Spider-Man logo, because he memorized it from Spider-Man. I know this ain't like word for word, but I'm just putting a summary, right? So Venom copied Spider-Man's whatever, right? His web shooting and everything, right? Spider-Man rejects Venom, and then he finds this other person named Eddie Brock. For some reason, Eddie Brock hates Spider-Man. Thus, Venom has that. It's like a dog, right? If the dog can like mimic the personality of its owner, so now Venom and them simultaneously hate Spider-Man. So with Venom having memorized, like, have the memory of like Spider-Man's powers, he gave those powers to Eddie Brock. So now Eddie Brock is like this huge, swole, demon mode Venom, like we all know and love, right? So Venom and Spider-Man bang heads, right? Bump uglies or whatever. In the battle, I don't know that much. Okay, so they fight. Something happens, and Venom comes into contact with this other person named Cletus Cassidy. The thing about symbiotes, right, is if you get, it's almost like werewolf rules, right? If you get attacked by a symbiote, like if you get a cut from a symbiote or whatever, a part of that symbiote goes into your bloodstream, or like, are these names important? Kind of, yeah. They're lore accurate, right? So you got Eddie Brock, it's lore accurate. Cletus Cassidy, lore accurate. But anyway, Venom attacks Cletus Cassidy, or somehow Cletus gets a piece of Venom's body, but the Venom symbiote goes into his bloodstream and not into like his body in general, right? So long story short, Cletus Cassidy turns into Carnage, and Carnage's symbiote fused with Cletus Cassidy's blood, and that's why oh yeah, by the way, Cletus Cassidy is a fucking psycho. That's you saw right there.
Symbiotes in
That's Cletus Cassidy. So the reason why he's all red, because he had fused with his blood. He's a psycho killer. So all he knows. So you can imagine, right? So Venom has. it's actually kind of crazy because. So again, Venom copied Spider-Man's abilities, and then Venom has like the hatred of Eddie Brock, and now those two are now fused into Cletus Cassidy, who is now a freaking serial killer. So I imagine they were compatible. So what he said just now is they're not completely compatible, but so things can go out of whack. So I think he'll explain it right here. Hold on.
These situations have a give-take
Okay, so here, listen
relationship.
again. Wait, shoot, hold on.
It disconnects from the collective and bad things follow. Kinda like when Carnage bonded with the psychopath Cletus Cassidy. Symbiotes in these situations have a give-take relationship with their host, but usually take more than they give. For example,
So yeah, that's what he's talking about. So with that, I don't know if Cletus was taking more than the symbiote was giving, but it's not. Sometimes it's a symbiosis. Sometimes it's you get crazy shit like that. But anyway, yeah. Oh, and to finish my thing off, right? So another like lore accurate. Okay. So Spider-Man, the Venom symbiote goes into Spider-Man. Venom symbiote goes into Eddie Brock. Knows all their powers and emotions or whatever. Venom gets a piece of his body stuck into Cletus Cassidy. They form a new symbiote called Carnage, right? And now Cletus Cassidy is now a part of Carnage. And another thing is uh, Venom and Carnage fight. I don't know how it happens, but they fight and then you know what? Let me. Hopefully they'll explain.
when Spider-Man was first bonded with the Venom symbiote during the Secret Wars event, it seemed too good to be true. He no longer.
Oh, we already heard this.
Since then, there have been numerous other symbiotes, most of which are relatives to the Venom symbiote, who are
Yes.
born on Earth, like Carnage and Toxin. As for symbiote biology,
Yep, right there, right there. Yeah, just keep going.
yeah, we're getting scientific up in here. Actually, no. That basically just means powers, abilities, and weaknesses. It's a bit conflicted between generations, but overall, they amplify the physical strength, agility, and healing of their hosts. They are also vulnerable to sonic sound and fire, and they reproduce asexually, meaning they don't need to do, you know, the no pants dance. Symbiotes
Exactly.
also seemingly grow stronger with each generation. They have an amazing camouflage ability, and it seems they can absorb the abilities of previous hosts, having
Okay, wait. You know what? He'll
no
probably
pants dance.
expand it.
Symbiotes also seemingly grow stronger with each generation. They have an amazing camouflage ability, and it seems they can absorb the abilities of previous hosts. Having bonded
Yes.
with Spider-Man, it gave later hosts wall-crawling abilities. They are usually drawn
See, there
towards
we go.
negative emotions and feed heavily on the brain-produced chemical phenethylamine. The loss of phenethylamine is the very thing that leads the host of the symbiotes to become violent and mentally unstable. It's essentially the biggest drawback of being the host of one. But just like that, friends, you now know the origin of the symbiotes and some of their traits. Before I leave you guys, I want to thank our sponsor, the U.S.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, he explained it, but I explained it more. So yeah, is Venom a symbiote in of itself? Yes. I think Venom is the original symbiote, right? And like he said before, they can produce asexually. So again, werewolf rules. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's pretty good. I really like it. Go give him a like. I love him. He also explains like every symbiote as well, but yeah, so they produce asexually, and what I was talking about, werewolf rules, right? Is you get attacked by like a symbiote, a piece of itself goes into you, and then boom, another symbiote appears if you're compatible with it. So again, Venom attacks Cletus Cassidy, whatever. A piece of him falls off, he becomes Carnage, right? Carnage and Venom fight because Carnage hates his quote unquote father Venom, and they fight, and then I don't know who the other human host is, but he comes into contact. I don't remember his name, and with Venom and Carnage fighting together, a piece of I think either both of them or Carnage, yeah, Carnage gets attached to that other person, and then the other person grows a new what's in there? A new symbiote called Toxin. Toxin is apparently way stronger than both of them because you know he said each generation they grow stronger. So how do you kill a symbiote? They said with sound or fire. And I think yeah, that's about it for the lore, right? So you already know them, the Clintars, whatever the fuck. But yeah. Okay, now we can go into uh let me see. What was his name? Variant? I think Variant is a good thing a good video about this. Let's see. What's his full name? Oh no. I forgot. Variant Comics. Yeah. By the way, I was hoping to clip this part of me like reacting to all this stuff, but I'm so over the place that it might just not be a thing, you know. Variant Comics. Oh, right there. Nice. Uh Oh, bro, this is anti-Venom. Oh
The
god.
truth about our economy.
Oh god, that's a 30 freaking second ad. Holy shit. Okay. Oh shoot, he's. Oh, I forgot about right. He explains all of the symbiotes. This dude is goated with the sauce. Oh man. Uh. Yeah. I wonder if this is what I sound like when I explain shit to my mother. It's probably 100%. Let's see. I'm gonna just put all. Oh no, stop. All new all new Venom hosts reveal. Oh shit. Nah, don't do this to me. Wait, I gotta go all the way down. Hold on. Wait, what? Okay, we did this. History of Toxin. The symbiote god unleashed absolute. Oh no. Oh man. Oh, Scream. That's a okay. I'm about to start gushing because I love all these characters. Okay, let me go to. Okay, we've seen Venom. Let's go History of Carnage. This is the person I want to be in Marvel Rivals. Oh my god. You say that, but it all made sense, so like it worked. I hope you're right, man. I appreciate it. I hope I'm way more eloquent with my words than you, Marshy. Anyone is more eloquent in speaking because my brain don't work good, and I start jumbling my words whenever I get excited. So I'm so sorry. But I really want to explain.
Carnage.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I miss the DC Comics slogan. We're drawing the line at $2.99. I'm your host, Aris Quinones. Ever since I did a History of Venom episode last year, people have been asking me to do a History of Carnage episode. Don't believe me? Here's a few examples. See? So since a lot of you want to know about Carnage, guess what? I'm going to tell you all about him.
Let's go!
Cassidy, who's the man that eventually becomes Carnage, first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man 344 in March of 1991 and made his first appearance as Carnage in The Amazing Spider-Man 361 in April of 1992. He was created by writer David Michelinie and artists Eric Larson and Mark Bagley. Writer David Michelinie created Carnage to be a darker version of Venom, intending to have Venom's human alter ego Eddie Brock be killed off in The Amazing Spider-Man issue 400 and have the symbiote continue to bond with a series of hosts. However, as Brock and Venom's popularity increased, Marvel would not allow him to be killed. True. Then decided to create a new character who was a total psychopath and, unlike Venom, had no sense of morality. The character was originally meant to be named Chaos and then Ravage before they settled on Carnage. Carnage's human component, Cletus Cassidy, was designed by artist Eric Larson, who modeled the character after DC Comics supervillain the Joker, which is actually pretty obvious once you compare.
What the fuck? Really? Dude, that's almost 1-for-1. You know what? I don't care. DC sucks. Fight me. Marvel's better. That picture goes hard. True, bro. I love Cletus Cassidy in a sense of like he's badass. Marshy, let video play out first so you can gather your thoughts. I doubt that will still will help me, but you're right.
The two. As for Mark Bagley's role, he designed the Carnage symbiote. But now that you know how and why the character was created, let's talk about his fictional history. Cletus Cassidy is a psychopath and a sadist. Yeah, they definitely took inspiration from the Joker. Cassidy is a deeply disturbed individual with a dark past. As a child, he killed his grandmother by pushing her down a flight of stairs, tried to murder his mother by throwing a television into her bathtub, and tortured and killed his mother's dog. So I think that's all I have to say to put a stamp on him being a psychopath.
Grandma,
After the
no!
latter, Cletus's mother tried to kill him. He soon became an orphan and was sent to a home for boys, where his antisocial behavior made him a target of abuse from the other orphans and the staff. But see, you don't want to make fun of a psychopath, because when you do, they get revenge like Cassidy did by murdering a teacher or pushing a girl in front of a moving bus because she laughed at him for asking her out on a date. Followed
Oh, fuck, I didn't know that. Bro. Bro got a kill assist from Truck Coon. I'm weak. No.
by him burning down the orphanage, so you really don't want to make fun of a homicidal maniac. Anyway, during his brutal years at the Home for Boys, Cassidy acquired his philosophy that life was essentially meaningless and futile, that laws were only words, and came to see the spreading of chaos through random, unpatterned bloodshed as the ultimate freedom. Flash forward a bit, Cassidy became a serial killer. Wow, didn't see that coming. He was then captured and sent to Rikers Island prison for 11 murders, though he bragged of a dozen more. And he shared a cell with Eddie Brock, who had lost the alien symbiote that transformed him into the supervillain Venom.
Wait. Why was Eddie Brock in prison? Okay, that's how they got it. Okay.
Brock's symbiote soon returned and bonded with him again, and unwittingly left behind a symbiote offspring. For those of you who don't know, the symbiotes reproduce asexually once per generation. The new symbiote then entered Cassidy's bloodstream through a cut and bonded with his blood, transformed.
Yes! Yes, bro, I love it. Look at this, bro. I don't read any comics, but if I did, I like the symbiote comics is like my first read. Holy crap, dude. Look at that last image. It's so dope. Jesus. He burned down the orphanage, my god. It's small price to pay. Small price to pay.
Him into Carnage. He escaped prison and began a series of murders, and then at the scene of each crime wrote Carnage on the walls with his own blood, which is very disturbing, yet awesome. He was found by Spider-Man, but Spider-Man proved to be no match for Carnage. In desperation, Spider-Man made a truce with Venom to fight Carnage. Carnage was defeated with a sonic weapon. After this, we get... He was found by Spider-Man, but Spider-Man proved to be no match for Carnage. In desperation, Spider-Man made a...
This freaking image, I don't know why this makes me laugh so hard. First of all, why does Venom's head just look so oblong? Like, yeah, the picture's goofy as fuck. I don't know why.
Truce with Venom to fight Carnage. Carnage was defeated with a sonic weapon. After this, we get perhaps the most famous Carnage storyline in the Spider-Man crossover event, Maximum Carnage.
Yes!
The symbiote Cassidy was bonded to was destroyed during his capture, so he was presumed powerless and jailed at Ravencraft Asylum. However, the symbiote mutated his blood prior to its destruction, enabling Cassidy to generate a copy of the symbiote and break out. During his escape, Cassidy, again calling himself Carnage, frees his fellow inmate, Shriek. Over the course of their ensuing killing spree through New York City, they recruit Doppelganger, Demogoblin, and Carrion. Carnage dubs himself their father, but in fact, they all despise Carnage and only stay with the group out of devotion to Shriek. As the death toll increases, Spider-Man, Venom, Captain America, Black Cat, and so on all join the cause of stopping them. I'm not going to give away the ending for those of you who haven't read it, but just know it's a great storyline. Now, of course, I couldn't talk about Carnage without at least mentioning Spider-Carnage. During the Web of Carnage arc, Ben Reilly is bonded with the Carnage symbiote when it escapes from Ravencroft Institute, where its host, Cletus Cassidy, is being held. Reilly struggles for control of himself and tries to prevent the symbiote from taking over. The subsequent inner battle with the creature ends when he has John Jameson take him to a cell designed to hold Carnage. He willingly subjects himself to a potentially fatal dose of microwave radiation to try to kill the symbiote, which then returns to Cassidy via the pipes. Then we have the awesome and recent Deadpool vs. Carnage storyline, which gave us another mashup of sorts.
Whoa. Okay, relax, buddy, relax. Take it, slow down. Radio what? Pipe who? Okay. All right, he's giving us a whole deep dive on it. Wow, Spider-Man's waist is so snatched. Why are you looking at his waist, dude?
when Carnage bonds with mother freaking Deadpool. And I want to mention Venompool, simply because without Venom, there would be no Carnage.
Hell
Venompool is
yeah.
a combination of Venom and Deadpool, which is quite obvious. He's from an alternate reality. But now, I'm going to talk about Carnage's presumed death. After a 2004 appearance in New Avengers, the character was presumed dead and was absent from the comics for nearly 6 years. But a 2010 limited series titled Carnage featured the return of the symbiote, where it temporarily found a new female host before reuniting with Cassidy. Now, we all know by now that Carnage is the offspring of Venom, but Venom isn't the only one popping out babies, if you will. Carnage also made a little symbiote bundle of joy called Toxin, who has been said to be the most powerful of all the symbiotes.
Bro, look at this freaking image. Look at this image, dude. Toxin. Wait, it's Toxin. Holy crap, dude. Oh man. The mouth, the tendrils. Mama drunk turpentine when she was pregnant. When that didn't work, neither she nor Pa let a day go by without telling me I was about as wanted as a part in a spacesuit. What? A tragic story, but you're still under arrest. Wait, what? Okay. God damn. That looks like the monster from Amnesia. It's just so dope.
And the more I think about it, Toxin was never really a little bundle of joy. It was actually kind of scary. I've been rambling about Carnage for a few minutes now, talking about his creation, his fictional origin, and yada yada yada, but I've yet to talk about his powers, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm only going to be mentioning a handful because he has way too many powers to mention them all. The alien symbiote endows Cletus Cassidy with enhanced physical strength greater than that of Spider-Man and Venom combined. It gives him shape-shifting abilities, allows him to project a web-like substance from any part of his body. The symbiote can also form weapons out of itself, like turning his hand into an axe.
Look at that! Look at it! By the way, all this stemmed out from Voyage saying they all have same abilities. Dude, does Venom have a freaking battle axe and a goddamn lance? Holy crap! Marshy wanted another DPS. I want a symbiote for every class. Every class. And there is a symbiote that will be viable for the healing class. I will show you in a minute. But bro, look at this shit, bro. Oh my god. Bro, look. Let's go.
He can plant thoughts into a person's head using the symbiote tendril, and much like Spider-Man, Carnage has the ability to cling to virtually any surface. And the list goes on and on. Now, I know I didn't mention every little detail about Carnage in this episode, and that's simply because his history is really rich with content, as are most comic book characters. But
so much lore
is the basis of what you need to know about the character. But if you still want to know more about the symbiotes, you can check out my History of Venom episode I did a while ago, which I put the link for in the description below. And lastly, before I leave you guys, it's time for some Carnage reading recommendations. You have the Maximum Carnage storyline, Minimum Carnage, Web of Carnage, Deadpool vs. Carnage, Venom vs. Carnage, and
just give me all the
Spider-Man
Carnage.
Volume 11, Carnage. That is a lot of Carnages.
Hell yeah. Okay. I don't mean to like just skip over like we have like 2 more minutes to go, but I want to just keep going through this lore, dude. I think he does, but that might have been one off iteration. Yeah, hold on. I'm thinking of Anti-Venom. But okay, I don't know when Anti-Venom comes in. I think, yeah, okay, so it goes Venom, Carnage, and then Toxin, and I think Anti-Venom is something else. So we're gonna get into Toxin.
$1 hot coffee, $2 iced coffee, and $1 16-ounce Wawa teas and fruit drinks.
Wawa? Skip.
Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Domain.com. Today on Variant, I give you the history of Toxin.
Yeah!
Welcome to
Toxin, you mean the Warframe element? Yes! Into one symbiote. I'm done. I'm so done.
Variant. We
Oh,
love
sorry.
comics more than I'm ecstatic that Surge is back and available on Amazon. I'm your host, Eris Quinones. Ever since I did a History of Carnage episode a few weeks back, a bunch of people in the comment section of that episode were saying they wanted me to do a History of Toxin. For example, you have this guy and him and this person and that person.
Wait. You say you want to watch the lore, but skip 2 whole minutes because he was done with the Venom, or with the Carnage lore. All right, jeez, we already. You mean to tell me all 6.5 minutes of what we watched wasn't? I mean, obviously, he said he was done with the lore of Venom of Carnage. I keep saying Venom. We're good. Okay, we're good.
And a bunch of other people. So it's quite obvious you guys want this episode. So let's do this.
Let's go. Yeah, exactly.
Toxin is a fairly new character to the Marvel Universe, making his debut in Venom
Bro, look at.
vs. Carnage issue 2 in 2004. It was created by Peter Milligan and Clayton Crane. With that said, this history of
Clayton
Toxin might be a
Crane?
little shorter than normal history of episodes, since he's only been around for 10 years, which isn't all that long for a comic book character. Like all
Yeah.
symbiotes, Carnage became pregnant but felt only hate and fear for his new quote-unquote son, because of its potential to become stronger than him and Venom. Venom
Yeah, I'm
found
pretty
out
sure.
about Carnage's pregnancy, so he tracked him down to talk about his spawn. Carnage did not want to talk about the situation, which led to a fight with him and Venom. Carnage was
What?
ready to kill his powerful child as soon as it was born. But when Carnage did give birth, however, he was too weak to actually kill it. He would eventually give his symbiote spawn to a New York police officer, Patrick Mulligan, who, you guessed it, becomes the host for Toxin. Carnage hoped to
Okay, Patrick Mulligan. That's Toxin. Okay, gotcha.
destroy the symbiote later when he regained his strength. Like Carnage said, he attempted to kill Toxin again, but was prevented from doing so by Black Cat and later Venom. Venom wanted to train it to make it an ally against Spider-Man, and if he had to, Carnage. Venom fought Carnage and named the new symbiote Toxin, because to other symbiotes he smells like poison and has tendrils like Carnage but has a body similar to Venom. After Carnage attacked Pat's wife and Spider-Man fended him off, Pat's wife started to go into labor and had a little boy named Edward Mulligan. Patrick left, realizing what a danger he would be to them if he stayed. Later
Wait
in
a
the story,
minute.
Venom soon realizes that Toxin has a sense of morality by not killing Carnage when he could have. In realizing this, Venom tells his son Carnage that Toxin could likely become a good guy and ally himself with Spider-Man, which wouldn't be good for either of them. So Venom and Carnage team up to try to kill Toxin, but as I said in my History of Carnage episode, that's going to be really hard since Toxin has been said to be the most powerful of all the symbiotes. In the final battle between the three
and of all the symbiotes or just Venom and Carnage? Cause god dang. Honestly, turn the baby into a symbiote. That's what I was thinking that was gonna happen.
symbiotes, Spider-Man stumbled into the confrontation between the three symbiotes and helped Toxin. After they fended off Venom and Carnage, Toxin had a conversation with Spider-Man, filling him in on what happened to him. Spider-Man gave him a superhero heart-to-heart. Aww. Spidey's so nice, and passed on his Uncle Ben's message, with great power comes great responsibility. Toxin resigned himself to a life of battling his base symbiote urges to indulge in violence and destruction, while trying to harness his power for good. Unlike Venom and Carnage, who embrace the power and give into the symbiotes they have, Patrick Mulligan is always having to keep Toxin under control. Also, because Toxin is still a child, Pat is trying to teach a symbiote how to be good. At one point in 2005, in a 6-issue limited series, trying to live with Toxin became too much for Mulligan, who attempted suicide by throwing himself in front of a train. The toxic symbiote intervened at the last moment, saving Mulligan, claiming that Mulligan didn't really want to die. When Mulligan pressed the issue, it became clear that unlike the Venom and Carnage symbiotes, Toxin is not sure if it could survive on its own and find a new host. In this limited series, Razorfist murdered Mulligan's father, but Toxin begins to show signs of heroic behavior. He tracked down Razorfist, but instead of killing him, Toxin controls himself and turns Razorfist over to the police. Mulligan reconciled with his estranged wife Gina by—
Okay, look, bro. We went from peak Carnage to Spider-Man level of with great power comes great, yeah, whatever.
Introducing her to the Toxin symbiote as a way of explaining why he walked out on his family. Mulligan and the symbiote came to a peaceful agreement. Mulligan will be in complete control of the symbiote if he allows Toxin 2 hours of playtime each night. However, in those hours, Toxin is not allowed to commit any acts of grand theft, arson, rape, or homicide, which is completely reasonable, unless, you know.
What? Did you have to add the rape? What? Jesus. Yeah, I want to see chaos, not symbiosis.
Oh, you're a weirdo. Patrick Mulligan is eventually beaten to death by Blackheart. Sometime later, Toxin is bonded with, wait for it, Eddie freaking Brock. Toxin then takes on a slightly different appearance, as you can currently see. He
What?
then declares he wants to kill Venom above all else. Now, I think this has been a pretty good summary of Toxin's history thus far, so let's talk about his powers. Like all symbiotes,
Let's go.
Toxin possesses the powers of his parents, but to a greater degree. He can stick to walls, shapeshift, and also has unlimited webbing. He can camouflage to his environment, form solid weapons from his limbs like Carnage, and he has a healing factor like his predecessors. Unlike
Okay, so like obviously you're gonna see this I don't know what to call it. You're gonna hear like the same thing, but there's like more. Like again, they copied the same abilities from other hosts and then add more. So it's just they just gonna keep it's like Dragon Ball Z types of power leveling, like right? They're gonna keep going and going and going in like power until I don't know who else is stronger than this one. Babies have incredibly weak immune systems that would die immediately. Yeah, probably.
Like the others, Toxin can track anyone, not just other symbiotes, as long as he has something to pick up a scent. Also, he has the ability to hide in his host's bloodstream, which is gross, creepy, and awesome, all mixed into one. But now you guys know what time it is, and that's time for some reading recommendations. You have Venom vs. Carnage, Toxin the Devil You Know, Venom Toxin with a Vengeance, and Deadpool vs. Carnage, which he's not really in all that much, but it's a good read nonetheless.
Okay, look. See, now he's done with it. See, Toxin is extremely cool, but he doesn't really do anything. Yeah. Marshy don't need to explain power scaling. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Freaking awesome. It's the perfect mix of brute force, so it's still practical.
Yeah, okay. He's done with that. Now, Anti-Venom. This one, I think, was like one of the most badass ones.
Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Domain.com.
Besides Carnage.
Today on Variant, I finally talk about another symbiote, the long-requested Anti-Venom. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I'm excited to kick off Villains Month. I'm your host, Aris Quinones. For those of you who don't know, in honor of Halloween, Variant is dedicating the entire month of October to the bad guys. And to kick Villains Month off, I'm going to be talking about a symbiote you guys have been requesting for a while, Anti-Venom. I've already done a history of Venom, Carnage, and Toxin, so of course it was only a matter of time before I talked about Anti-Venom.
Yeah.
Now I know Anti-Venom isn't a villain per se, he's actually an anti-hero, but he's an extension of Venom, so I figured he was a good fit for Villains Month nonetheless. Plus he looks scary, and a lot of you guys have been wanting this episode, so let's talk about him.
By the way, this is the symbiote that I recommend for being one of the healers in Marvel Rivals. I think y'all see what I mean.
Diving right into it, not wasting any time, we first see Anti-Venom in the 2011 storyline New Ways to Die.
Look at him. Look at this dude. Look at him. I want you to look at him. The babies aren't even born with the top. Okay, Jesus. All right, boys. Okay. He's white AF. I like him black. He's badass, dude. Nah.
In issue 569 of The Amazing Spider-Man. While once again praying at a church, Brock was discovered by a philanthropist named Martin Lee, who is secretly Mr. Negative. After attorney Matt Murdock
Yo! I forgot about... I knew it! I knew it was Mr. Negative, but I forgot what... I forgot how. Hold on.
law that Brock was not responsible for his actions while bonded to the Venom symbiote, and has Eddie's charges dropped, Lee gets Brock a job in a soup kitchen. Eddie began life as a cook and continued rounds of chemotherapy in order to try to combat his cancer. When Eddie believed his terminal cancer was about to kill him, a touch from Mr. Negative charged the remnants of the Venom symbiote within his body and activated them, causing them to bond to his white blood cells. This created a brand new non-sentient symbiote that lived within Eddie's bloodstream, secretly healing his body of cancer. One day, Matt Gargan, who was the current Venom, was hunting for Spider-Man, and since they form a host, and presuming it to be Spider-Man, followed the Inkling. Gargan then encounters Brock instead of Spider-Man, and the Venom symbiote then attempts to leave Matt Gargan and rebond with Brock. However, upon making contact with Brock's skin, the new symbiote began to react. The white substance seeps out of his pores, and the Venom symbiote is immediately repelled. Once the symbiote completely covers his body and transforms his appearance, Brock declares himself Anti-Venom. After becoming Anti-Venom, Brock and Gargan...
First of all, why is Brock getting all the symbiotes? That's not fair. That's not freaking fair, bro. Jeez.
fight with Spider-Man trying to break them up, but Spider-Man is punched out of the way by both symbiotes. Eddie tells Gargan that he only wants to save him from the symbiote and the poisonous deadly road it will lead him on. Anti-Venom defeats Gargan and nearly kills the Venom symbiote. Brock then detects remnants of the symbiote inside Spider-Man from when he wore the symbiote.
See, look, that's one of his main powers, right? Is to just like he's like an aggressive healer. His power is to destroy other symbiotes, or destroy other symbiotes.
He attempts to cure Spidey, draining radiation from his body and
Or
nearly
cure him.
devouring him. He doesn't, of course, because the Thunderbolts arrive to break it up. But from then on, Spider-Man's powers are greatly weakened in the presence of Anti-Venom. The Thunderbolts try to kill the new symbiote, but Eddie proves immune to Sonic Bird's sonic projection and Radioactive Man's heat/radiation, unlike previous symbiotes, including Venom. Eddie then tries to cleanse
Wait, hold on. What did he say?
Venom. The Thunderbolts try to kill the new symbiote, but Eddie proves immune to Sonic Bird's sonic projection and Radioactive Man's heat/radiation, unlike
Oh, shoot. So Anti-Venom is right now, the only one that has technically no weaknesses. Because I told you before, like, the only weaknesses that symbiotes have is, like, sound waves and fire. So he's immune to that shit. What would Anti-Venom's alt be? You mean like ultimate? That's a good question. Maybe we can figure it out when he explains his powers, like all of his powers.
Previous symbiotes, including Venom. Eddie then tries to cleanse Radioactive Man, but Sonic Bird saves him. Norman then tells them to retreat, and they take Gargan back to the base to heal him and Venom. Norman then uses the remnants of Anti-Venom in Gargan to create a Super Venom capable of destroying the new symbiote. He then outfits Gargan in a new Scorpion-powered suit that contains a cybernetic tail and a stinger filled with Super Venom. The powered suit also allows the Venom symbiote to regenerate while providing new protection against Anti-Venom's touch. Meanwhile, Brock saves Spider-Man from Bullseye and Norman Osborn, and the two team up. Long story short, after webbing Songbird and Radioactive Man to a wall, Anti-Venom faces Gargan, who now embodies both his power sets as Scorpion and Venom. After a grueling battle, Gargan as Scorpion hits Anti-Venom with his stinger and injects the Super Venom, which seemingly destroys Brock's suit. Gargan then tries to kill Brock, but is met with resistance by the Venom symbiote. Gargan's symbiote gains strength and breaks through his battlesuit, refusing to let Gargan kill Brock. Gargan explains that the suit still loves Brock too much to do so, so Gargan gives up. But he promises Brock that he will get past this problem and someday finish him off, to which
Dude, why is Eddie Brock getting this symbiote harem? What makes this guy so good? Why? Maybe because Eddie Brock is like the most compatible human that they all know, like they ever seen. Like, he has cancer. What makes him so compatible? True, he has cancer. How does that? That's another weird thing, right? Eddie Brock has cancer, even though he has like the Venom symbiote, and I guess they Anti-Venom cured the cancer, I guess. But how? That doesn't seem very compatible to me. I don't think he could be in the game. Venom always has Anti-Venom skin. It will get confusing because apparently most people are blind. Bro, we have three freaking we have three blonde women with white suits. I think it's gonna be okay.
Brock replies, "Not if I kill you first." Unknown to Gargan, Brock's Anti-Venom suit reforms. He admits that Spider-Man helped show him a side of humanity he had long forgotten, also saying there was more he could learn from him. Now a fugitive for helping Spider-Man and fighting the Thunderbolts, Brock is back on the streets planning to continue his religious quest as Anti-Venom. Brock later faces the villain Mr. Negative and discovers that he and Lee are the same person. Learning that the man he idolized is a supervillain causes a breakdown for Brock, making him question his faith, referring to himself as a monster. After this revelation, he becomes increasingly unstable mentally, murdering small-time criminals as he did during his Lethal Protector days. He briefly and reluctantly teams up with the Punisher to stop a drug cartel that kidnapped a friend of Brock.
He teams up with the Punisher. Instant day one Punisher and Anti-Venom team up. Holy crap, dude. Yes. Oh my god, I love it. I've never been so hyped in like in ever. Oh my god.
This leads us into the return of the Anti-Venom story. During the road to Spider Island, Anti-Venom makes a return. In this arc, he begins a crusade against Mr. Negative's crime wave and eventually finds Martin Lee himself. As Anti-Venom tears apart his limo, Spider-Man intervenes and stops Brock from killing what he believes is an innocent man. Spider-Man is easily defeated by Brock's new suit and is captured. Later, Eddie tries to convince Spider-Man that Martin Lee...
No, fuck! Ah, scheisse! No, wait! No! Go back. I was trying to pause to show you the freaking dominance that he just put Spider-Man in. There's a 10 seconds. My fat freaking finger.
U.S. Coast Guard. President Trump's tax cuts are important to veterans.
No one cares. Sorry.
Tears apart his limo, Spider-Man intervenes
and
stops
this.
Brock from killing what he believes is an innocent man. Spider-Man is easily...
Bro, that's this. Look at this. Good. Frick you, Spider-Man. Bro. I just had a thought, dude. Bro, the bottom one kind of looks like if you seen Omni-Man, if you seen not Omni, Invincible, the show Invincible, it's like Conquest pinning down Invincible, and he's just saying, "I'm so lonely." Oh my god, that's fiendish. Spider-Man getting fricked nice. Stop. He's like, oh, you got a tight little man pussy on you, don't ya? It stinks. Nice and good. Looking like a double wide surprise. God damn. Sorry. Anyway. Don't do
defeated by Brock's new suit and is captured. Later, Eddie tries to convince Spider-Man that Martin Lee and Mr. Negative are one in the same. Due to his disbelief, Spider-Man is forced to tag along with Brock as he continues his search for Mr. Negative. Eventually, Anti-Venom is ambushed and stabbed by what seems to be a Negative sword that causes him to lose the upper hand. The character Wraith then teams up with the two and they reveal Negative's true identity to the press and he is arrested. The story ends with Anti-Venom finally becoming a hero. During Spider Island, Anti-Venom appears as a reoccurring character in the events of Spider Island, in which he uses his healing powers to turn the affected citizens of New York from spider-powered beings back to everyday citizens. When the heroes discover that Eddie Brock...
Look, already, crowd control and healing. He's goated with the sauce. He's goated.
Brock holds the only cure for the infestation, Flash Thompson engages in a fight with Anti-Venom in order to secure and deliver him to Reed Richards. To which I say, don't start none, won't be none. Which I'm not really sure if that really makes sense for the situation, but I really wanted to say it. Richards then uses the suit in order to cure New York, but at the cost of Eddie losing his beloved symbiote. Eddie's sacrifice did not go unnoticed. Reed Richards held a press conference praising Eddie Brock as a true hero of Spider Island. In the aftermath, Eddie was left with nothing to show for his sacrifice. He took up living in a shack, gathering weapons that he had confiscated in his years as Venom. His new goal becomes eradicating the symbiote species before they eventually grow in numbers and take over the Earth. He soon kills Hybrid and Scream and plans to go after Venom next. But fear not, my comic comrades, Eddie Brock's...
By the way, I think Hybrid is like the most pussy-footed hybrid. I might be wrong. Hybrid is like the weakest of them all. Like Venom can kill him. So what's the, hold on, I think he's getting to it right now.
Career with the symbiote is not over here because he later becomes the new Toxin and declares he wants to kill Venom above all else. But if you want to know more about Toxin, I already did a history of episode on him, so you can watch that if you'd like. But now that you know about Anti-Venom's origin, let's talk about some powers and abilities.
Hell yeah.
Anti-Venom has superhuman strength, durability, stamina, accelerated healing, offspring detection, meaning he is capable of physically detecting its offspring. He can also wall crawl, has webbing generation, a spider sense, immunity to Spider-Man's spider sense, and camouflage capabilities. One of his coolest powers by far is internal bodily cleansing. After sensing an impurity, Anti-Venom can forcefully cure the substance from the person's body using antibodies produced by the symbiote. He uses this ability to almost completely destroy his old symbiote, and he cured a young girl from her heroin addiction. Hence his name Anti-Venom, because he's the cure for things impure. But now that I've told you about his powers, it's time for some reading recommendations. You have
Wait, that's it? Okay. So I was thinking, right, with like a crowd control like healing like kind of like Rocket Raccoon's like little uh hit Rocket Raccoon's ultimate ability, right? Like it does like a little web, but it, like everyone like it's go. I don't know. How about a full cleanse on everyone and a little shield? See, I was thinking about shields too. I don't know. But I'm not sure. Alt free heals for everyone's staff. Wait, wait. Hold on. Let me cook. Oh my god. I think I got it. Okay. I got it, boys. Boys and girls. Okay, so imagine Rocket Raccoon's like ability ultimate ability, but uh anti-venom does the same thing, but instead of healing us, it negatively heals the other team. So if you're caught in anti-venom's tendrils, they all get like less, they get negative healing from everybody for how many minutes or seconds. What's Rocket Raccoon's ult? He puts down like a beacon that like attaches to everybody that, and I think it gives healing and um uh a damage buff. Like so like the main focus is like you get like a crowd control healing, but for anti venom you get anti healing for the enemies. Hell yeah. How about if they try to heal, they get yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah, that's exactly, yeah, negative healing. I just said it weird. So more from Overwatch type beat. No, oh Moira. So Moira from oh nah, nah. It needs to be like hold on. I want to show. I want to see the exact thing. What do you do? Right here.
which he uses is
Okay, so look, his hands go out like this, attaches to the from like all the enemy teams in like a specific radius, right? So and then they do negative healing. Negative healing when you're attached with anti venom. That ult would have to be pretty short to be balanced, not gonna lie. It's Marvel Rivals, bro. It's not gonna be what is balance in Marvel Rivals? You can have 4 heal, bro. Imagine a freaking team with 4 freaking healers, and then you pull out the anti venom. Oh my god, instant vindication, dude. How about 5 seconds? Let's go 7. Let's go 7. I'm feeling frisky today. We're going 7 seconds. Yeah, but anti-venom is one of my top 5 symbiotes. 5 seconds is enough for a full team wipe. Oh, then you have to be uh coordinated as hell, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, so heck yeah. Or okay, so it's gonna be so freaking overpowered. So look, okay, so the what's more, since it's gonna be like 5 seconds. Oh my god. Okay, bro, I'm too excited. I'm too excited. All right, let me cook. Let me cook some extra pieces off on the grill. Okay. Okay, not only can anti-venom do anti-healing for the team, for the enemy team, but he can also attach to the to his allies and get some more healing for them. Oh my god. Healing and anti-healing at the same time. Oh, yes. And he can do everything like Venom can do, but like he's not a tank, right? To justify all this, I think like anti-Venom should have like a hundred health. Like I guess that would be fair. Maybe 125. I love this. I love this. God, that's literally my idea, you thief. What do you mean? Let me see. Let me see what you said. What did you say? Oh, you said Moira from Overwatch. So technically, like, okay. So Moira has like both a healing orb and a. Oh wait, no, oh yeah, she does have that. I think they did that in the last update. Like she can give anti-healing to the enemies. Oh shoot, I think you're right. I forgot about that. With love. It's okay, boys. I know I understand now. I understand now. Thank you. I think this kind of ult would make tanks pretty damn good, not gonna lie. Oh, but it all depends on like how much healing he would give, right? Like, but yeah, and also the damage. Yeah, it would be so good. Yes. Yeah, and I said free heals for everyone. Okay, I'm sorry, Voyage. I was so lost in the sauce that I was barely paying attention. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna continue with the
powers to turn the affected citizens
with the next one, right? Okay. I don't remember. Again, I don't remember Hybrid that much, but I know he's trash. I feel like he's freaking trash. But let's go.
What makes Zaxby's giant chicken finger quesadilla
Yo.
so giant? Crispy fingers, salt.
Don't worry about it.
Today on Variant, I talk about the Symbiote Hybrid, because you all wanted it.
I am Midnight, no problem.
Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I can't wait to see Season 3 of The Flash. I'm your
Wait, no. I'm sorry. I don't want to give, I don't know why I hate Hybrid so much, but look, since it's gonna be your last video, I don't want to waste your time on Hybrid. I feel like he's trash, right? So my next DPS or healing one. Wait, does she? I want Scream. Where's Scream? Did I pass her? Oh, literally right here. It was literally. Wait, how did I pass? I'm so sorry. All right, so we're gonna do Scream.
Today on Variant, I give you the history of the symbiote Scream. Welcome to Variant, where we love
What do you mean I'm projecting? Shut up.
comics more than I love Stranger Things on Netflix. I'm your host, Eris Quinones. For today's episode, I knew I wanted to do something Marvel related, so I was bashing my brain thinking of what character or topic could I talk about. And then it hit me. I've been slowly over the course of the show giving you the history of all the different symbiotes. For instance, I've already done the history of Venom, Carnage, Toxin, and Anti-Venom. So for today, I was torn between Agent Venom and Scream. But I chose Scream, which just means I'll be doing Agent Venom in a later episode, so don't fret,
yeah.
that is still coming in the future. Anyway, I chose her because I feel like a lot of people don't know much about her, but they like
Midnight. Yes. I hate that you said that. But anyway.
her because she looks awesome. But today I'm going to change that by educating you on Scream. Unless you already know about her, I would.
Wait, what do you mean you're trying to change my mind and liking Scream because she looks cool? Did I forget? Did I block something out? Is he about to ruin my enjoyment of Scream? Let's see.
At which point, just forget that last sentence. Scream was first introduced in Venom Lethal Protector issue 4 in 1990.
Bro, look at that cut. First of all, Venom always looking goofy in these comics. Why is his head like that? Why is he looks like a goddamn bobblehead. Jesus.
3. She was created by writer David McElhinney and artist Ron Lim. She's actually one of the 5 Life Foundation symbiotes. Fun fact, Scream was the only one of the 5 Life Foundation symbiotes to be named just shortly after her creation. Now you might be saying that's the second time you've mentioned the Life Foundation symbiotes. What the heck are they, Eris? Well, they're a group of 5 symbiotes spawned from the original Eddie Brock Venom symbiote by a survivalist group within the American government called the Life Foundation. The Life Foundation was attempting to create a kind of utopia for themselves and their rich clients in preparation for a nuclear holocaust that they thought would be the result of the Cold War. But why would a foundation that's building a shelter be interested in symbiotes? Well, the 5 symbiotes were created to basically act as a super police force in their imagined new world. As for Scream, she was originally Donna Diego, a Life Foundation volunteer and their unofficial Californian leader. Donna was picked from the Life Foundation's security force, and once bonded with the symbiote, Donna became Scream, one of the Life Foundation's superhuman protectors. In her first appearance, we see her bonded with her yellow and red symbiote, testing her new powers and abilities at a mall. When Spider-Man showed up to stop her, Scream says, well, an honest-to-goodness superhero. Perfect. Breaking you in half will make our little exercise a complete success. But taking on Spider-Man isn't as easy as she thinks, and she's forced to evacuate. As she's escaping, Spider-Man slings a web line to her getaway jet and follows her back to a laboratory. When Spider-Man arrives at the laboratory, he is promptly greeted by 5 symbiotes, or as he puts it, 5 Venoms. Long story short, Eddie Brock breaks free from containment at the laboratory because remember, this is the laboratory where they trapped him to make the new symbiotes. After breaking free, Eddie quickly reunited with the Venom symbiote, and him and Spidey partnered up to defeat, as Spider-Man puts it, the other Venoms. Sometime after this, Donna aka Scream started looking for Venom by herself, and later she found him fighting Scarlet Spider. She was trying to convince Venom to teach her and her fellow symbiotes how to control their symbiotes, but Venom had no interest whatsoever in helping his unwanted children. So he did what Venom does best and attacked her. He was able to get the upper hand, but just when he was about to kill her, the Scarlet Spider stopped him. Scream then fled, leaving Venom and the Scarlet Spider to fight it out. And jumping ahead a bit, when
Okay, we're not halfway through, but so far, Scream is a pussy. I don't know why, but I'm getting pissed. Venom couldn't do it. Venom acting like my dad right now. He doesn't want to do anything with his children, dude. He doesn't want to deal with them. Her hair kind of looks like pasta. It really do. It looks like angel hair pasta. Delicious.
Eddie Brock was later separated from the Venom symbiote by the government in the Venom separation anxiety storyline, Scream and the other 5 Life Foundation symbiotes broke him out of prison and kidnapped him. It was a last-ditch effort to get Venom to teach them about their symbiote, but Eddie was still like, heck no.
Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, so that's why. Okay, I understand now. Okay, so we understand about the asexuality. Yeah, the cake is pretty freaking fire. Okay, so they're nowhere near strong as like Carnage and stuff. I understand now because they use Venom, the basic bitch. I'm sorry, I don't want to put disrespect on my boy Venom name, but the basic symbiote Venom, they use him to take out, like, to form these other symbiotes, right? So how the asexual thing goes, right? To make them more powerful, you'd have to like, they'd have to basically be birthed from either toxin or anti-venom, right? Instead, they just made a whole nother family tree with these guys, right? So instead of like Venom, Carnage, Toxin, Anti-Venom, it's just like Carnage and then these 5. So basically they're just as, I feel like they're just as weak or like slightly stronger than Venom. Yeah, I don't know if they know who Carnage or so-and-so are. So that's a letdown. Let's go. Let's continue. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not gonna help you, because like Carnage, he thought his children would become psychopathic killers. Shortly after, the symbiote Agony was mysteriously killed by a person with a sword while in the restroom, and it appeared that Eddie Brock was that person. So the symbiote Phage set out to avenge her by killing Brock, but before he had the chance, Phage would end up also being mysteriously killed by the same sword that killed Agony. Turns out it's a sonic sword that apparently can cut through symbiotes. We soon find out that Scream's host, Donna Diego, had gone crazy, suffering from schizophrenia and the symbiote's influence. She believes
Oh.
that the symbiotes and any of their hosts are evil, so she tried to mislead the other symbiotes by making them think that Eddie Brock was the one killing them off. However, she would eventually lose her patience and go on to kill the rest of the symbiote host. She was also going to kill Brock, but the Venom symbiote arrived
Damn.
just in the nick of time and merged with Brock once again. Venom then beat her and fled the scene, leaving Scream to be taken in by federal agents. I also want to mention that the other 4 symbiote spawns of Venom later merged together and bonded with a host to become hybrid, which I can talk about in a future episode.
Yep, that's why. That's why I didn't like him. Yep, that's why I didn't like him. So, bringing back to my theory of Venom having 5 children, basic normies, right? Basic bitch normie symbiotes. All the freaking normies fuse together for one huge normie. I mean, he looks cool, but I don't think he's that strong.
If you guys want me to. Eventually, Scream would follow in Venom's footsteps and become an anti-hero of sorts after fighting the mutant Dirtnap along Venom's side. A while after Eddie Brock and Venom had separated, he went out on a symbiote hunting spree. His first target was Hybrid, who he went to kill with incendiary bullets. Eddie knew that Scream would find out about the death of her siblings, so he left a trail for her to follow so he could kill her too.
Damn. They probably don't know they get strong the more kids they have. Yeah, that's exactly true. Yeah. And it's so sad. I mean, like, in like lore perspective, thank God they didn't. Otherwise, we will have like unstoppable maniacs like out in the street. Like, instead of like potential heroes, we get like 5 insane maniacs just running about. I mean, like, I'm talking about like an Avengers level threat that almost cannot be stopped. Because if they birth these 5 from toxin, and they don't have the great with great power comes great responsibility as mantra, right? It'll be a wrap. It'll be a wrap. I mean, he must be at least 4 times as powerful, right? Let's. I mean, unless you want to stick around for the hybrid one, I don't know. We gotta find out what her power is, though.
Scream found Eddie.
Wait, imagine being the first generation suckers. They remove yourself from the gene pool at that point. A bunch of freaking normies.
He used a sonic device to paralyze her, but that's not all, my friends. He then proceeds to use a burning hot knife to stab her to death, which is both extremely violent and poetic justice in the sense that it mirrored Scream's infamous sonic knife that she used to kill her symbiote siblings. As for team affiliation, Scream is probably most known for being part of the Sinister Syndicate. If any of you have ever been to Universal Studios Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida, which I used to go to all the time growing up because I used to live there, you've seen her on the Spider-Man ride. As for powers and abilities, she can pretty much do anything any other symbiote can do. She can mimic clothing or any attire she wants to camouflage her host, Donna. Just like Spider-Man and Venom, Scream can crawl on walls and could also web sling. She also has a danger sense, which is just like Spider-Man's spider sense. And something kind of unique is that she can use her hair as a weapon to hit, grab, or wrap and tangle anyone she's attacking, just like Medusa from Inhumans or Sindel from Mortal Kombat. Other abilities.
I'll take her. I'll take it. He quoted Sindel. Okay. All right. Instant baddie. 10 out of 10. I'm so sorry I talked shit about you, Scream. I'm so sorry. Please. Please!
These include agility, elasticity, a healing factor, invulnerability, shape-shifting, enhanced stamina, and superhuman strength. There you have it, friends, the history of Scream. Her history isn't too elaborate, which is why this segment is a little shorter than usual. But before I go, I couldn't wrap this history of segment up without giving you all some Scream reading recommendations.
That's it. Wait, I could have sworn Scream... I thought Scream had a superpower that, like, makes her, like a banshee. Like, she screams. Like, she uses the... I don't know why I thought this, because her name's Scream, obviously. But I thought she had, like, the one symbiote weakness of screaming, or, like, sonic, like, sound waves. But she uses that power. Apparently not. I mean, obviously that's a lot of powers because it's still, yeah, it's not that many powers. Like unlike Carnage, he didn't say she can like form weapons out of her body, right? I mean, she can use her hair as a weapon, yeah, sure, but nowhere near as strong as Carnage or anyone else. Like again, they're slightly stronger than Venom, and that's it. You're thinking of women Cletus was hanging with. Wait, I thought that was it. That was Scream, right? Huh. Anyway, thanks for streaming, Marshy. Look forward to you, Devon. Don't say anything outlandish. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and look up. Watch Hybrid, I guess. And what's the other one? Noel is the god of the symbiote, and then there's Riot. That's it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more symbiotes. Like, there's a whole bunch of fusions, right? But I guess there's only like Agent Venom just looks trash. So I don't know. All right, we're gonna look up Hybrid. That's a different person. Well, crap.
Today on Variant, I talk about the symbiote hybrid because you all wanted it. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I can't wait to see Season 3 of The Flash. I'm your host, Aris Quinones. A few weeks back, I did a History of Scream episode to continue my history of symbiotes that I've been doing over the course of the show. And in that episode, I asked you guys to let me know in the comment section of that video if you would be interested in a History of Hybrid video, and the response was overwhelming to say the least. I also know that the History of Gohan and Miss Martian are highly requested episodes, so I just wanted to let you guys know I'll be getting to those in due time. But as for today's episode, it's time to talk about more symbiotes. And since you guys wanted it so bad, I present to you the history of Hybrid. Scott Washington, the host of Hybrid, first appeared as a guardsman in The New Warriors issue 21 in...
Is that Hybrid on the bottom right? Yo, why does he look so devious? He's mischievous. He looks just like me for real, for real.
March of 1992. As for the symbiote Hybrid, it first appeared in Venom Along Came a Spider issue 1 in January of 1996. We get the origin for Scott and Hybrid in the backup stories for the miniseries Venom Along Came a Spider. Scott Washington was one of the guards at the Vault. For those of you who don't know what the Vault is, it's a prison for superhuman criminals. While working at said prison, he became friends with one of the prisoners, Vance Astrovic, aka Justice, who was formerly known as Marshyboii. He was put in that prison because, well, he kinda killed his father, and that's a no-no, kids. Anywho, Scott and his guard friend were soon transferred to Facility 12, where the scientists were studying 4 symbiotes. And those 4 symbiotes would be Lasher, Phage, Riot, and Agony. As we know from my History of Scream episode, those 4 symbiotes are the offspring / children of Venom. They were forcefully spawned from Venom when he was captured by the Life Foundation. If you want to know what the Life Foundation is and why they caught Venom, go watch my History of Scream episode. But anyway, Lasher, Phage, Riot, and Agony were caught and sent to the Vault after their sister Scream killed their hosts. While the symbiotes are being experimented on, at another location, Spider-Man, Venom, and Scarlet Spider set off a planet...
What is that? What is that? That goes so hard. That goes so hard.
Wide shriek that allows the 4 symbiotes to break free. Being scared, the symbiotes bond together and become hybrid. After this, they briefly bonded with Scott and made him realize that they weren't evil or a threat, they were just scared. He even says, "Now I know that these 4 are different than the rest. They don't want to hurt anyone, they just want to escape to live." So with that on top of it,
already absolute worst symbiote. GG's, no re. You're bad. Let's go.
I'm feeling bad for all the pain they were going.
Wait, I think you're literally thinking of lady named Banshee with black hair. Is it a symbiote? Wait. Nah. Maybe. I'll think about it later. I'll look it up later.
Going through due to the experiments that the scientists were performing on them, he decided to let them escape. Of course, once his bosses found out about this, they fired him. And then on the last panel of Venom Along Came a Spider issue 1, we see Hybrid say, "Needs Scott, and Scott needs us." After being fired, Scott returned to where he grew up, a gang-torn neighborhood in Brooklyn. Once he returns home, we see the Easy X gang try to take over a basketball court his brother Derek Washington is currently playing on. Scott doesn't take well to that and almost breaks one of the gang members' arms. The gang eventually leaves, but not before they say Scott and Derek better watch their backs. Flash forward a little bit, the gang breaks into their place and shoots Derek and Scott. Derek dies, and Scott is paralyzed from the waist down. Long story short, Hybrid eventually found Scott, at which point he started to bond with him. Scott was all like, "No, get away from me," at first, but once bonded, he realized that he could walk again, so he decided to use his new powers for what most villains and anti-heroes do: revenge. The funny part about this is that the Hybrid symbiote didn't want to join Scott so they could kill people. They even say something to the effect, "We need each other and can help each other. You understand us and can protect us." But once Hybrid bonded with them, they were like, "Crap, no, this isn't who you were before, bro." To which Scott replied, "You wanted to be partners, didn't you? Well, now you got your wish." Since Scott was so angry, the symbiotes tried to stop him from acts of violence. For instance, when he was trying to get revenge on the Easy X gang, the symbiote said, "Cannot allow murder, Scott." Hybrid
There's no way that they just pulled a role reversal on this shit, dude. The hosts are the main person that be like, "No, you shouldn't like kill like this." They're telling the, oh my god, I'm already jumbling my words. The humans are the main people that be like, "Symbiote, you can't kill these people." But now we get the opposite effect. Like, "No, you're supposed to be good. You changed, bro. You changed." What? This is why I hate Hybrid, dude.
goes on to say, "We are permanently bonded with you, Scott, but we are not Venom, we are not Carnage. We will not kill. You have changed so much, Scott." It's just so crazy that the symbiotes are trying to stop him from killing when it's usually the other way around.
Exactly! Exactly! He's trash.
Realizes killing won't change or fix anything, so he gives that killing won't change anything speech to the gang. But they could care less. A now hopeless Scott lets the gang get away. But an old friend tells him that it's not hopeless, which in turn makes Scott/Hybrid vow to protect his city. One thing I think is worth mentioning is that since the Hybrid symbiote was originally 4 different entities, Scott has to deal with something really unique. Instead of dealing with one voice in his head, he has to deal with 4 different voices and personalities on top of his own.
Ooh.
Running around as Hybrid, Scott started to get a lot of attention from the press. Most of that was for good reasons, but it still got the attention of the jury, a team of former guardsmen of the Vault. This team of self-appointed justice fighters captured Hybrid and were going to kill him, just for being a symbiote. But never fear, friends, the new warrior saved him. His buddy Justice even asked if he wanted to join the group, but Scott said no because he had more important work to attend to, like cleaning up the streets of Brooklyn. Flashing forward a bit, after Eddie Brock lost everything, including his anti-venom symbiote, to save New York City during Spider Island, he went on a symbiote hunting spree because he now hated them. The first symbiote he killed was none other than Hybrid, and then after that, he went on to kill Scream. But wait, I may have got ahead of myself. You know how I just said Eddie killed Hybrid? Well, as it turns out, he didn't. The 4 symbiotes somehow survived and were forcefully separated. The government then assigned each symbiote to a soldier. These 4 soldiers would be known as the Mercury Team and were sent out to capture Carnage. But Carnage, he can't be stopped for long. So he ends up ambushing the Mercury Team at their own base and then tears them apart. Literally. But the symbiotes survive. Speaking of tearing apart, he does the same to Deadpool when Deadpool was hunting him. The now hostless symbiotes bond with mother freaking Deadpool, making him become the new Hybrid, which is kind of awesome. After a crazy battle, Deadpool defeats Carnage by using the symbiotes. He then gives them to the dog that Team Mercury owned. He tells the dog to take them back to the governmental bigwigs, who will know how to take care of them. But just like that, my comic comrades, it's time to talk about some powers and abilities.
I hate that. They said we're peaceful. At some point, this makes sense though. Yeah, I mean, of course it does, but come on, dude. Like, whatever.
Hybrid can wall crawl, sling webs, create bladed weapons with his tendrils, and he can also shape his symbiote in such a way that allows him to glide through the air. He also has camouflage capabilities and can shoot small pieces of his symbiote that can move on their own. He's even detached pieces of his symbiotes to use as trackers or send messages to his allies. Basically, he can pretty much do what all other symbiotes can do, with his own little twist on things here and there. And of course, I couldn't forget to leave you guys with some Hybrid reading recommendations.
Okay, so he's basically like a scout. He could be. Oh God. I mean, he could technically be like a healer or a tank, because apparently he keeps getting killed, but he doesn't die. He he could definitely be a healer. I mean, like not necessarily a healer, more like a shoot. Is there another person that does this? Probably not, but he can track and oh yeah, he can be yeah just a support in general. Like I don't think he can heal. He can probably heal, but he could be like Loki, like maybe for like his ultimate, he can separate like have nah they wouldn't do that. I was gonna say they could separate like Hybrid could separate into all four, and then like no. Mm, like my first thought is his tracker, like he can put like detach pieces of himself to track like enemies and stuff, so that could be a thing. uh he's just not that good, man. Like
as trackers or send messages to his allies. Basically, he can pretty much do what all other symbiotes. Small pieces of a symbiote that can move on their own. He's even detached pieces of his symbiotes to use as trackers or send messages
like I don't know, dude. Like if they could if those pieces could like explode or something, that would be pretty dope, but that's about it. Yeah, I was right about Hybrid. He's kind of trash.